Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to talk about the best cinemas in the UK and all the different brands that we have. Now I have asked ChatGPT this for pros and cons, and it's actually summarized some Trustpilot reviews from each of them so it can highlight all the different trends. So it's actually come up with something really good for us to get into. So let's get into it. So we're just going to go through each brand, and I'm going to talk about my experiences with them, but also some of the things that ChatGPT has generated, of course, from things like Trustpilot reviews and all of that. Starting with my personal favourite, Cineworld. Now, pros to Cineworld, we have a large number of sites. It is a large number of sites, although in Wales, for me, there's only two, and I think there could be more, to be honest, but they only have two. They tend to operate mainly in bigger cities, I think. They don't tend to go for more the rural towns, like, View, for instance, by me, have one in Merthyr, they have one in Cwmbran, and also Cardiff, as well as Swansea. So they have them in cities, but they also then do go into smaller towns, whereas Cineworld don't tend to do that. Pros of Cineworld, though, probably the biggest pro to any cinema chain in the UK is they have a lot of exclusive formats. Things like 4DX is only available in Cineworld. It is an exclusive format. There is other things that other companies have launched, like, in tandem to their super screen. You've got iSense and stuff in Odeon, which we'll get to, but, good selection of blockbusters alongside formats. Cineworld tends to be the best, especially things like 4D and 3D. Also, Unlimited. Cineworld was the first ever cinema, I believe, in the UK to do unlimited, so they offer that unlimited membership, of course. And some of the cons then at Cineworld is frequent customer complaints about booking and website glitches. Like, I've had a few of those. The website does go down a lot, it feels like, at Cineworld, but maybe I'm just saying that because I use them the most, so I notice it the most. Customer service is also really bad at Cineworld. It's really hard to get hold of them nowadays. This year they actually got rid of their phone number, so if you book something on mistake and the app doesn't let you cancel it, to actually get that booking cancelled is a nightmare. You have to very much go into the cinema nowadays, which you used to be able to just ring up a phone number and a guy or girl, anyone would answer, and they would just sort it out for you over the phone. That has gone. Obviously they've reduced costs and got rid of their call center, but at the same time, it doesn't help if the app doesn't work. They also have a lot of operational stuff going on. Like, they are changing a lot, and they are probably the biggest cinema chain in the UK that is at risk, probably, because they have been closing cinemas left, right and centre, but hopefully they're closing just to become a smaller cinema chain, and then that will allow them to be more self-sustainable. They can't maybe operate this many sites anymore. It's costing too much money, etc. But yeah, as I say, they're going through a bit of a restructuring at the moment, so they're still very uncertain, as the whole industry is in general. The next one we have then, I'd say, is the more budget-friendly one on this list, and that's View Cinemas. Fantastic cinema chain, and as I said previously, they tend to have a lot more sites, but they're a lot smaller. Their screens tend to be smaller. They don't tend to have the best tech, especially in South Wales anyway. They tend to just be, the smaller cinemas that, like I say, they're in Merthyr Tydfil, they're in Cwmbran, but they also have the bigger cinemas that are in Cardiff and whatnot. But they don't tend to invest. They haven't got no IMAX presence in Wales. The only IMAX screen in Wales is actually in Odeon. So they don't tend to invest. The cinema in View Cardiff has been View Cardiff for the last 20 years. It has not changed. But they're comfortable, they go through it, and their ticket prices are really competitive as well. They do have offerings like upgraded seating. Cineworld don't tend to offer this in terms of VIP seating for a certain row. View tend to be the ones that do this alongside Odeon, which we'll get to. So some of the cons then that has come up from things like Trustpilot through ChatGPT here. The system of tiered seating, premium seats, centre, tends to increase the cost for better view. So they do different prices. So you can sit in saver seats, I think they call them, and then they call them super saver, VIP, they call them different rows basically. So you got to pay, whereas things like Cineworld, you basically just pay one price for the entire wherever you sat. They also have occasional issues with cinema hygiene apparently, and maintenance alongside sound levels. Some locations reportedly have poor conditions of cleanliness. So that's one of the things it wrote out here from Reddit alongside Trustpilot. So as I say, yeah, View tends to be the one that doesn't really invest. They very much know where they are. They're the cheap cinema. They don't tend to invest, and they just, that is it. But if you are somebody that wants to go there and spend a little bit more, then you can pay to be on row X and have a nicer view of the screen. You can do what you want with it. Next one we have then is Picture House. That has come out as one of the big cinemas here in the UK, and apparently they're part of Cineworld Group, so I didn't know that. But I've never been to a Picture House, but apparently it says here the pros: stylish cinemas, more indie stroke art house vibe that often have nicer decor and more interesting programs, so things like more special screenings, more anniversary screenings, and more indie films, etc. You can be a member as well, and members have certain perks. Overall atmosphere is often seen as more cultured and relaxed, very much not like kids don't tend to go this. If you want to avoid kids, then probably go to Picture House is probably the best thing for you. But then the cons to that, of course, then higher ticket prices than multiplex alternatives, because it's more of a niche market, like having that independent vibe and feel. And some locations have maintenance and hygiene issues similar to View, but in this case that is that. And I guess similar to Cineworld as well, complaints around customer service, booking interface, app and website usability. So yeah, probably they use the same system, probably, don't they, as Cineworld? So yes. Next one we have then is Odeon, which is one of the only IMAXs in Wales. Actually, it's the only IMAX in Wales. We're soon to lose it because they're going to knock it down and build a massive venue. I hope they replace it with something better, but hopefully we'll see. So pros, wide reach and premium venues. They do tend to plug the gap a little bit more in terms of the wide reach around the UK. In Wales, not so much. They only have one, I think, in Odeon, and they've got one in Bridgend and they've got one in Cardiff, but that's as far as it goes. They haven't got no cinema screens up the valleys that I live in, etc. So you are quite like have to go to a city to go to an Odeon. They also have different brands now. So you have a standard Odeon, but you also have Odeon Luxe, which obviously the proof is in the name there. It's a very much more luxurious cinema and trying to aim more things like that Picture House stuff that we said earlier. And within that, they have very high-end projection, as I said, with IMAX, but also Dolby Cinema, etc. And also iSense as well, which is their own offering that they have internally. They do a membership scheme now, so you can do a My Limitless. You can do like similar to the Cineworld Unlimited and pay a monthly fee to go. And they also offer things like beds and front row beds that you can actually lie on and have bean bags and stuff like that in the Luxe branches, deluxe pods even, which give more comfort and novelty when you go to watch films. So again, more like experience. Like Cineworld tends to offer more experience from a 4D, 3D point of view, but they tend to offer it from the point of view of like being comfortable and watching the film in, you know, a different environment than you probably would, you know, anywhere else. The cons with Odeon is if you do buy the tickets individually, they are very, very expensive. Probably the most expensive cinema on this list, to be honest. They are very expensive, but of course, if you have that My Limitless membership, you can definitely make that with what you will. Website and booking apparently has many issues. Again, some people have been blocked or had trouble logging in. So again, that's some of the issues that Trustpilot has pulled out. And variability between locations. Some Odeons are excellent, others are less so. In the lower cost or more out-of-town sites, seating, sound, comfort, upkeep sometimes falls short as per reviews. And I've actually had this in Cardiff, like some of the seats in Cardiff are quite ripped and all of that. It's definitely due a refurb. As I said, it's going to be, hopefully, as I said, it's going to be knocked down and something's going to either have to come in its place or it's going to be gone for good. But yeah. The final cinema then that I have on my list here is Showcase Cinemas. Now, I actually worked in a Showcase Cinemas in Cardiff, actually in Nangarrow. So yeah, I do have a little bit of inside knowledge on this, but let's get into it. So pros, comfortable, fairly premium in many locations. There's only one in South Wales. So yeah, many people say the seating is decent. And again, the seats in the cinema that I worked in, they hadn't changed since I was born, basically. It's been like that since the 90s. Yeah, loyalty discounts, they have an insider scheme, which when I was there, it was only on a Sunday and a Monday and a Tuesday. You'd pay £7 for a ticket, which is still really expensive, but now that's probably a little bit more. Some location have newer tech and layouts. So for instance, we did have a launch of the X Plus, which Showcase X Plus is a fantastic system which primarily focuses on Dolby Atmos and all of that. Fantastic system, to be honest, though. But X Plus is like their own version of super screen, not quite IMAX, but like a bigger screen and all of that, but primarily focused on loads of sound and high volume sound. Very good experience though. And it says here, generally good customer service in sites. Some users report friendly staff, good vibe in particular locations. When things are running smoothly, people are more relaxed and feel compared to very big multiplexes. So the cons to them though is poor customer service again and communication, booking errors, non-refundable ticket policies, staff are unhelpful at times, and issues with refunds and charges. Websites, all the same kind of feelings here. Inconsistent quality across the locations. So, you know, the Luxe versions are probably way better than the actual, we thought that working in mind, like the Luxe one that was in Bristol, which is now closed. They would spend so much time investing there, but they never really invested in the smaller sites. But yeah, and then you've also got price and extras feel less transparent. So, you know, knowing how much certain things are for different types of things is quite not quite obvious on the website maybe. And then poor reviews, it has a 2.2 out of 5 on Trustpilot. Overall, one of the lowest out of all brands. So yes, that is my look at some of the cinema brands in the UK. And my personal favourite, as I say, is a Cineworld. It does the best of both worlds. You get more of your formats. It does really good, I think, nowadays at showing older films. You know, currently in November, they're showing Pirates of the Caribbean alongside all of the Mission Impossible films in the cinema. They've done Twilight recently, and also, you know, things like The Dark Knight and all the Christopher Nolan stuff. They do a lot for most people. And at a very small price, you can pay monthly and get a subscription. My second favorite probably would be View, because you just get what you pay for. You pay £5 to go and see a film. But also, I didn't mention in my pros and cons, but one of the pros that I would give to View is View partner with a lot of places. So if you already have a Sky Cinema subscription, or you have something like with myself on 3 and my phone and whatnot, I get free tickets through them. Monzo give me a free ticket for View. So you can get a lot of things. They've partnered with a lot of different companies like Sky, Monzo, and as I say, you know, 3, and you can actually get free tickets that way. So yeah, there we go. There is my thoughts, and obviously with the assistance of ChatGPT here on my iPad, I'm actually looking into some of the best pros and cons of cinemas in the UK. Do you have a favourite cinema? Do you have a worst cinema? Would you never go to a certain cinema? Let me know in the comments down below. And thanks so much for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more videos coming soon, and of course, see you in the next one. Goodbye.